The cartography table has brought some brilliant improvements to our map making game. Don't you go anywhere, I'm going to tell you all about this brilliant block. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening and good night, depending on what time you're watching this next episode from me, Avomance, in my Quickie Block tutorial videos. Today we're going to look at the cartography table, a really interesting block that expands, yes we are my friend, that expands the already good map functionality that you can get out of a crafting table. Let's take a look now. The cartography table is the workstation of the cartographer, unsurprisingly, and that's what the cartographer looks like right there. It naturally spawns in many villages inside, get out my way mate, inside a cartographer's cottage. However, it can be crafted really very cheaply. You need 4 wooden plank blocks. It doesn't matter what the plank blocks are, they can be all the same, they can be all different, it doesn't matter, exactly the same as a crafting table. Then take 2 pieces of paper and put them on top like that. That gives you the cartography table. Really very inexpensive. The cartography table was added as part of the Village and Pillage update for the workstations for the villagers. It came into Java in 18W44A and beta 1902 for Bedrock. However, at that point, they were not craftable. They were only craftable in 19W02A in January 19 and beta 1.11.01 in February 19. And again, like all the Village and Pillage updates, PS4 players didn't get anything until June 2019 when the 1.91 update came out. Because it's made of wood, the cartography table can actually be used as a smelting fuel. This would be an absolute emergency service, however. It will smelt 1.5 items, so 2 cartography tables will give you 3 smelted items. Obviously, you'd be better off using something else. As I already mentioned, the cartography table expands and improves the current map functionality of a crafting table, and that's been around since August 2012. So for example, if I grab out myself a map and a boatload of paper, you can see here this map is already made. If I come into the crafting table and pop the map in the middle and put paper all the way around it, that gives me an expanded map. You can see here, if I pick up the map, it's expanded away. That's perfect. If I want to do that in a cartography table, however, I take the map and I just need 1 piece of paper and that will instantly expand that map for me even further. If I come out of there, that map's expanded even further. So it's significantly cheaper to do it in a cartography table. In Java, you still have to make your map inside the crafting table. So if I come along, I need these items. I need 1 bit of redstone. I need 4 bits of iron to make myself a compass. I then need to put that compass in the middle of there and surround it with paper. That gives me an empty map. However, in the cartography table, you can create an empty map in Bedrock and PS4 just by putting 1 piece of paper in slot 1. That will give you an empty map. You then put a compass in slot 2 and that gives you the same kind of map that we have got here from our Java edition crafting table. Once you've got a map in your hand, what the cartography table does in all of the versions of Minecraft is essentially the same, and we're going to talk about them now. We've got expansion, cloning and locking. First off, map cloning. Come into the cartography table by right clicking it and you get the user interface. Pick up a map that's already been opened and has got a picture on it, and you can see there we've got this exact area that we are stood in right now. We are just here where my arrow is. So nice big map. And then if we want to clone this map, we just need an empty map, a map that has yet to be opened. If we then put that in slot 2 here, you can see the user interface changes. Clearly indicates that I'm making you 2 maps that are exactly the same. Collect both those maps here. You can see this is map 5, 2 lots of map 5. Those maps are now cloned. And if I look at either one, if I look at either one, that's that one. And then if I look at number 2, it's exactly the same. Exactly the same. And then if I want to come along and put one map up on a map wall, for example, and you can see there is, if I come out there, you can see there, that is where I am, but it doesn't change. Look, I'm moving around, but that cursor does not move around. Whereas if I look at it, you can see I'm moving around. So that is a static image. There's no me. There is just the position of the map itself. However, if I now put down a load of blocks that are going to be visible on that map like this, that should probably do it. You'll notice the map hasn't done anything yet, but if I come along and open that map, you can see all of that brown stuff is now visible on the map. If I close that map and I come down, all of a sudden that brown stuff is also visible. That's because this map is cloned. This is a really good way of updating big map walls with clones of the maps that you've got on the walls. The next functionality we're going to talk about is expansion, and to do this, to make it really clear, I'm going to press F3 and H. That is going to show the advanced tooltips, and what that means is when I look in my inventory, I can look at an item, it gives the item ID and its size and things like that. It tells me all about that block. It's quite a useful tool for certainly this sort of thing, but many other things as well. So if we then come into the cartography table and we put our map in slot 1 up the top there, you can see it's all beautifully opened up, and we put a bit of paper, just one piece of paper, not the 8 that you need in a crafting table. This gives us an expanded map. Now you'll notice that this still states level 0 to 4. This is a little bit of a bug. In this map here, this has 8 by 8 chunks physically shown. If we expand it, that is going to double that in both directions. We now would have a map that is 16 by 16 chunks. If I take this out, you'll notice now it says scaling at 1 to 2, level 1 to 4. It's a funny little bug that shows it doesn't show it in the results section, only once you've physically taken it out. I need to open that up first, and once I've opened it up, I can then put that into the cartography table. It doesn't like it if you haven't opened it yet. And this is now 16 by 16 chunks, which means it's 256 by 256 blocks showing. Again, we can expand this. You can see here, it says scaling at 1 to 2, level 1 of 4. Still says it there, but if we take that out and then mouse over, it's now scaling level 2 to 4, scaling at 1 to 4. So doubled, was 1 to 2, now it's 1 to 4. If I take a good look at that map, you can see that is all beautiful. Coming in next again, pop that in there, another piece of paper. You can see it's expanded it one more time. Take it out and take a look at that. It's made it even smaller there. You'll notice the previous map had us up in the top left. This one has got it kind of in the lower left quadrant. That's because the way maps map themselves across the world is identical, irrelevant of your starting point. So clearly this point that we've got here, whilst it was in the top left corner of the last size of the map, it's in the bottom left corner of this size of the map. If I then put that into the crafting table, look, 1 at 8 now, and we can go one more, pull that out, look at it, and again, look, you can see we were in the bottom left-hand corner. Now we're kind of in the bottom left-hand corner of the top left-hand corner, if that makes sense. And that's, again, how the world has mapped itself, which means no matter where in the world you put a big map, and all the map's edges will marry together. If we then look at that, you can see it's scaled at 1 to 16. It is level 4 of 4. And that implies that you can't do it anymore. And it's absolutely right. That's as big as that's going to go. That actually will cover a map in one square of 1024 by 1024 blocks. That's 128 chunks in each direction. The last functionality is locking of maps. Now there's a number of reasons why you might want to lock a map, and I'll go into those in just a sec. But if you can see in my inventory, I've got 2 map ID 15 scaled at 1 to 1. These are identical maps, and if I open that one up and then open that one up, you can see they are exactly the same, just like we did the cloning previously. If I then come in and take one of those 2 maps, pop it into slot 1, and then put a glass pane into slot 2, a little lock appears here, and that's when I pick this out, it will call it a locked map. Again, like previously, it doesn't actually say at the moment that it's what the result is, which I think is a bit of a bug, and I'm sure they'll work that out. However, just to be clear, you have to use a standard glass pane. You can't use any of the colour glass panes. It has to be standard. If I then take that out and I then place that up there, you'll see it says map locked, and it won't allow you to do anything with it at all. So I'm not going to put that locked map, which is still the same as the first map because it was cloned. I'm going to pop it up there. So what we're now going to do is we're going to change the map in exactly the same way as we did before by putting a load of dark blocks down on the landscape, which will show up in any normal map. And if you remember last time when we did this, the cloned map picked up all of the changes that the normal map had found. So let's look at this normal map. Again, you can see down in that corner that has got that brown area. However, despite it being a cloned map, it hasn't changed on this one. One application of this is if you want to make yourself a custom map. You can make a map entirely black if you use loads of black wool or black concrete, or you can make pretty pictures and you can make all kinds of customized stuff. I've seen people that have used this to make pool tables across a 2x3 area by joining up variously customized maps together. So for example, you can see here, I've done that. If I turn that around, you can see I've done it upside down, and you can do this, remember, on any surface now. So you could have that lovely big yellow area there that's got a big smiley face and very tiny beady eyes, or you could have it on a work surface or something like that instead. If that's then locked, you can then remove that face and use that same area to do something else without this changing. No matter which way round you place your cartography table, it is always going to have its texture facing in the same direction, and as a result it's actually very difficult to be able to incorporate it into any creative build unless you're incorporating it as a cartography table. But a couple of things that are worth mentioning: if you put it next to dark oak planks, it's exactly the same texture on two of its sides there, except rotated 90 degrees. So perhaps you could secrete your cartography table in the wall of your house. If your house is made out of dark oak planks for the walls, you'd be able to see where it was because the stripes will be up and down rather than side to side, but it'd be difficult for anybody else to see it. What's also worth noting is that the underside of the cartography table is exactly the same as the dark oak planks, so you could maybe hide it in the ceiling. And that is the humble cartography table, really improving the map functionality that we've got in Minecraft 1.14 or the Bedrock Village and Pillage update versions. It makes it so much more simple, and more specifically a lot cheaper to be able to upgrade our maps. Bit disappointing as a building block, but actually I don't think we want to be using it as a building block anyway. If you have enjoyed that video, please do remember to slap that like button. It'd be great to know you're enjoying them, and I will keep on making them. And also, if you've not done it already, please do hit that subscribe button. It'd be great to see you in my sub club, and I look forward to seeing you in another video. You take it easy now. Bye.